Lore Friendly episode 95.
Boom!
We're 5 away
from
100. We're very close.
We need to think about what we're going to do for number 100. We need to have something big, you know?
What is big, though, in our parlance? I mean,
what's going to be big in 5 weeks' time?
I mean, in terms of podcasting, what is considered a big thing or a big act?
Me and you getting wankered together?
That sounds crazy. I don't know what it means, but sign me up.
So, July 29th, because we always record these episodes on a Monday, because it's my alone day. So that would be Monday the 29th in 5 weeks' time, which is when we would be recording the fabled 100th episode. So I think what we should do over the next 4 weeks is encourage anybody and everybody to ask us any question that they've been wanting to ask all the way through our podcast. We get drunk and we respond to them.
Define drunk. Now, do we have to be like shit-faced?
Not shit-faced. We actually have to be able
nice
to
general
speak.
Buzz.
Yeah.
No slurred speech.
The kind of buzz where there's no filter. That sort of thing.
Okay. You know what? In addition to the 100th episode, I think I mentioned this before, it's almost the 5-year anniversary, but we already figured out what we're going to do for that. I sent you a Hodor doorstop, so...
It's fantastic. It's all I've ever wanted out of my life.
Your life is complete. It's just all downhill from here.
It's been all downhill since I was 18, mate.
You can actually skate downhill on this doorstop. That's how huge
I know,
it is.
it is fucking massive. It is a behemoth of a doorstop.
It's an absolute unit. I recommend people buy their own because it is as big as Hodor is. It's true to the name.
Add the link to the description and see if the Etsy seller, was it Etsy? It was Etsy, wasn't it?
I think it was Etsy, yeah.
See if the Etsy seller gets an uptick in sales.
Yeah.
And if she does, or he does, then what you can do is you can get him to send some of the revenue our way.
Like some advertising thing.
Yeah.
Like have a special code.
This is something that the beauty community does. So basically, a beauty guru will have a special code with a certain brand.
Yes.
And that gives them a share of the profits.
An influencer.
So we're basically doing that, but instead of being beauty influencers, we're moderately useless crap on Etsy influencers.
Get 10% off with code LoreFriendly.
And
it'll be like that.
Feed us.
Yeah. I actually read something the other day about this influencer couple who basically planned a surprise wedding proposal. Only it wasn't actually a surprise. It was sponsored by a number of different advertisers. And they actually sent out an email like, hey, we're planning this whole surprise wedding thing. Do you want to be a part of it? Do you want to sponsor it?
What? Oh my god.
So yeah, they end up traveling to all these locations.
Paid for by different companies.
It has this whole like romantic vibe. Like this is impromptu and out of the blue. And then when the proposal actually happens, she has to pretend to be all shocked and stuff.
Like she didn't know that it was going to happen.
But yeah, it's like the way things are going now. It's like having a wedding sponsored by EA.
You know what, Chris? Sometimes I think that we're in the wrong realm of YouTube. Like, I'm just thinking, maybe we should do a one-off beauty episode with a face reveal. I've got enough makeup to do a beauty tutorial. This could be the start of a very glamorous collaboration where I do my makeup while speaking over Discord to you.
Sure, why not? That will be our niche, is that we'll have these podcasts and the whole time you'll be doing your makeup
and talking about
talking.
video games.
Yes. I mean, it hasn't been done before. It's unique, so there we go.
Yes. You know what? Fuck it. We're going to put this into production. It's going to be great.
Only you wouldn't actually be talking about the video games you like, only the ones that you were sponsored for. So You wouldn't actually have opinions.
Well, no, because we've actually...
ad-sponsored
No,
content.
because this is how becoming an influencer works, in that you originally have opinions. I know it's really weird to think about, but you have your own opinions. And then slowly, you become more and more... not capitalised. You slowly become more and more corrupted by the industry until eventually you've sold your soul.
Yeah, I mean, you start off in a bare bones room with just a microphone and yourself, and then next episode, a like soda can shows up on the desk, and then maybe the mic is a special brand from a sponsor, and then all of a sudden you got a clip in your hair from somebody, and it goes on and on. You got makeup from a particular sponsor. You have a necklace.
Makeup from Bethesda. I don't know.
Yeah. A necklace from Bethesda, a Talos necklace or something.
No, I want an Amulet Amara. Or of Debella. I feel like I'd make an excellent love goddess.
Yeah, those are different ends of the spectrum there. You have Mara and you have Debella. Yeah.
You have your faithful love and then I'm making sex love.
Yeah. I guess it depends on the mood. Maybe you're in a Mara mood that week and then you wear the amulet of Mara. And then, the person you're talking to gets to say, like, I thought someone like you would be spoken for.
No.
uh,
I want to play Skyrim again. It's been a long time, yeah. The last playthrough that I was doing, it was as Sansa Stark.
Oh, yeah.
So I was playing her as a mage who mainly used charm.
Is Sansa Stark a Nord?
No. Actually, yes, I did make her a Nord.
That would make sense. Nords are very tall and
yeah,
fair.
Well, that's what I was thinking, because I've always envisioned book Sansa Stark as being very tall and slender, and I think she's described in the book as being very tall. So I figured that a tall, slender Nord would be the best fit for her.
Although physically, she's more of a Tully than a Stark, right?
But you've got the weight sliders, haven't you? So instead of making her all butch and beefy, let's make her slim.
What would the Riverlands be in terms of Tamriel? Is that more Cyrodiil or?
I know that I've said this a million times before, but Nord is north in German.
Sure. Gesundheit.
So, Starks, Tullys, Arryns, Lannisters, Greyjoys, Martells.
The Martells would be Hammerfell, wouldn't it? More or less.
Yeah, according to, the location of Hammerfell, I'd say so, the environment. But, aren't the Red Guards quite renowned for seafaring? Because...
So you're thinking more the Greyjoys.
Yeah, but then the location isn't right. The environment isn't right. It doesn't map on perfectly. I will say that I reckon that the Arryns are Bretons.
That makes sense. Argonians could be Greyjoys.
Yeah, they're quite renowned for
Well, because they can breathe underwater, so...
Yeah.
There you go.
What is dead may never die yet, right? So we've got the Greyjoys as Argonians. I reckon the Lannisters would be High Elves.
Probably.
I'm writing it all down.
Of course.
I reckon, culture-wise, Tyrells would most easily map on to the Imperials.
Sure, why not?
Just culture-wise.
Yeah, isn't Highgarden a lush, verdant landscape?
Yeah. It didn't used to be rainforest, though. Like Cyrodiil.
That's true.
We missed out Targaryens. One sec. You'd think that the Targaryens would be the Argonians.
The Wood Elves could be like the Dothraki or something, I don't know.
For eating people.
Yes. Eating horse hearts.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah, I suppose in terms of, fashion sense, the Red Guard match up best to the Martells.
Yeah, I would say so.
See, I'd want to say that the Tullys were Imperials as well, but I want to find something different for them.
You could carve up Cyrodiil.
And the Targaryens, what would you think the Targaryens would be?
Targaryens
I want to say Argonians.
Because they're dragons. Targaryens would probably... I mean, I guess we could go with Dark Elves just because they have a longer, mystical...
Cremation. They both cremate their dead.
Creation myth behind them. They all come from Valyria or whatever, right? What's the name of the place where
Valyria.
They got the Valyrian steel? Yeah, Valyria. So they have this sort of kind of mythic sort of history and culture behind them that the Dark Elves probably would best signify, so...
Yeah, I'm pretty much down with that.
Plus, Fire and Blood. They have a whole fucking volcano on Morrowind.
And they enslave the Argonians, who are lizards. And what are lizards? Nearly dragons.
Exactly. There you go.
So what are the Tullys? This is the question.
The Tullys, yes. This is the original question that started it all. The Tullys are probably the Riverlands, so there's probably some section of Cyrodiil that makes sense for them. I don't know. We'll give them Kvatch. I don't know. Yeah,
I reckon... Maybe Shaden? Nah, Not Shadenall. I don't think Shadenall.
I guess there's also a river south of Skingrad.
Oh, yeah, actually, Skingrad. I reckon Skingrad would work best.
There you go.
Because Bravil, like, architecture-wise, is a bit scrappy.
Yeah.
Whereas Skingrad is quite a beautiful place. It's well renowned as being quite cultured, and the Tully girls were well renowned for being quite cultured, even if they were a bit upjumped. The only difference is that one of them's a vampire, but there you go.
Spoilers.
Right. Yeah.
But Bravo, yeah, that seems more like, because it's right on the bay, it seems more like something like with the fries or something where there's more...
Phrase. The fries.
Fries, whatever.
The fries.
Phrase.
Walder Fry. Right, we're
fries.
going for Skingrad. So we're going for Skingrad Imperials, aka vampires.
Exactly. Hey, it works because Lady Stoneheart is basically an undead creature, so there you go.
Oh, there we go. There's justification for everything.
I love how we were able to shoehorn in another Game of Thrones talk.
It wasn't even intentional. Right, so we have the Starks as Nords. We have the Tullys as Skingrad Imperials, aka vampires. We have the Arryns as Bretons. We have the Lannisters as High Elves, because gold hair. We have the Greyjoys as Argonians. We have the Martells as Red Guards. We have the Tyrells as Imperials. And we have the Targaryens as Dark Elves. Boom.
There
Sorted.
you go.
Plus Dark Elves can have white hair.
Somebody make
It
that
works.
mod.
Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Yes, I want to see this. Should we just make it?
Sure, why not?
I'm pretty sure there is a mod that does it. Game of Thrones, Skyrim. I know that there's a mod that you can get that turns all of your shields and stuff into the shields of the different noble houses. Oh god, there is. There is.
There's a mod that turns the races into the various houses.
Well, there's a mod that basically maps on Game of Thrones on Skyrim. It's on ModDB. It's on ModDB. It's got Elena Tyrell in it. It's got the Martells. This looks just like a fun game. I want to try this out. It's in alpha at the minute, though. So
Yeah.
I reckon we can make a better one,
Yes,
Chris.
yes. Well, we could just make it based on the existing infrastructure. We just have to change the names of like all the races.
Yeah.
We'll just add Targaryen onto every high elf in the game.
Yeah. How pissed off do you reckon people would be when we start saying that the Targaryens are dark elves instead of high elves?
Oh, that's right. Targaryens would be the dark elves. Sorry, but yeah.
Yeah, because I reckon people would get pretty pissed with us for that because it's not matching the physical description.
Yeah, maybe we can make the high elves Targaryens and the dark elves Blackfires.
Ooh. Nah, but the Blackfires are kind of wankers. I prefer the dark elves to the high elves.
True. We can switch around.
Well, that's just because I'm edgy.
It'll be
That's
just be like
I'm edgy.
saints and seducers. It'll be like flipping the narrative here.
Well, technically, surely the Targaryens would be the chimer.
Yeah. I think.
Where's the orcs? We missed out the orcs.
I mean, who are the Dothraki? Are the Dothraki the orcs maybe, or the wood elves? I mean,
I think the wood elves are more Dothraki than the orcs.
the orcs could be the Unsullied then.
The orcs could be those beyond the wall.
Oh, the wildlings.
Yeah.
That could make sense.
I mean, it is how England perceived Scotland for hundreds of years.
So yeah, look for that mod. You're gonna download it, walk into Whiterun, and Nazim Martell is gonna greet you and ask you if you've been to the Cloud District.
But he's going to be like 10 times sexier because he's a Martell.
That's true. He's gonna have like a bottle of poison in his pocket too. And if you kiss him, you die.
So on to the topics that we were actually planning to talk about today.
What were we gonna discuss? I've completely forgotten.
I just want to keep on talking about this mod, honestly. No, first things first. Bit delayed because we were going to talk about this last week, but Black Mirror. The new Black Mirror dropped out of fucking nowhere. Maybe this is because I stay so unplugged from the rest of the world most of the time.
Yeah, it was only 3 episodes though, so
Yeah.
it's pretty short.
Although they are all quite long episodes, aren't they? They're all like an hour 20. They're all like movies.
No, exactly.
So I've only watched one of the episodes. I'm quite intrigued by the Miley Cyrus episode because everyone's saying that it's shit. But the only episode that I've watched anyway, is the first episode, Striking Vipers.
I don't know what that name refers to.
Oh, that is the video game in Black Mirror.
The episode was basically a VR Street Fighter thing, right?
Yeah.
More or less. Where these two dudes, they go in, they play, they bro it out, and then out of nowhere they just start fucking. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. It's quite confusing, honestly.
I think it's just a play on the whole like sexualization of fighting game characters. Like Chun-Li, I think, is basically like the prime example. Chun-Li, Cammy. I'm trying to think of Street Fighter women in those games because I haven't played many of the other games. I haven't played Tekken a lot.
Oh, I used to love Tekken. I can't remember which one.
The combos on that are so hard.
I can't remember which one was the one that I always used to play, but it was the one with Eddie in it.
Sure, Eddie.
I think most of them had Eddie in it. I think it was Tekken 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's always gonna be in every one of those games like a really, really hot fighter. I guess I don't know how better to describe it.
Pretty much all of the female characters are all sexually attractive.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it's like a play on that. It was an interesting episode. I'm not really sure if they're straight or if they're gay, but I guess that doesn't really matter anymore. It's kind of a commentary on how there's new sexuality being developed as we like enter this brave new frontier of just there's these different ways to have sex. So people are going to discover different things about themselves, I guess. But yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't opposed to the episode, but I'm just very confused as to the message that it was trying to get across. Like, was this meant to be the happy episode of the season? Because we know from the last couple of seasons that they like to have a happy-ish episode.
I think that was the Miley, because I've watched all three. I think the Miley one is the happy one.
Ah, okay. Oh, now you've ruined it for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How dare you? No, because it's hard to kind of vocalize my thoughts about it. Because on the one hand, Anthony Mackie puts in a fantastic performance, because of course he fucking does, because he was amazing. In fact, the cast in the whole show was really good in the whole episode. I think it dealt with dealing with family life and growing up and nostalgia quite well. But I just got a little bit confused, honestly.
What about it did you find confusing?
I think it was trying to leave a lot of things unsaid. Show, don't tell. And one of my favourite moments in the episode was when Carl and Danny meet up in real life to kind of like fight things out, and it's like an echo of how they dealt with things in the game, and then they kiss each other, and the expression on Danny's face implies that this isn't just like an outside of the game type of thing.
Yeah.
For him.
Yeah, for him, I think he was definitely
bisexual.
feeling something. Yeah.
Getting them bisexual feelings.
I mean, the overall episode, the tenor of the episode was very melancholy, I thought, because, I mean, anytime you're dealing with a person, I mean, who is potentially gay and he's in a heterosexual marriage with children, I mean, it's just sad on a lot of levels because, you know, they're...
Well, I wouldn't say that he's gay because he's, at the end of the day, a lot of his sexual interactions in the episode are with the female avatars. So I'd say he's more bi than gay.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to define
a sexuality for a virtual being.
Yeah, because these aren't real people, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, this is a story. And so it's entering in at like a different frontier. So I guess that's what's interesting because this is not something that could ever have been possible prior.
Yeah, not feelings-wise anyway. You know what the whole concept reminds me of?
And what's that?
So when I was a young and lonely child on the internet and I had my own computer and I believe I was 12, 13, there was a little website, a little browser game called IMVU. IMVU. And one of the things that I noticed on this little website called is that you'd have a lot of people exploring sex through these avatars, through commands. And I know it's something that happens in like MMORPGs and things like that, but IMVU was basically an avatar dating simulator.
It's basically like cyber sex, right? Is that more or less? Although I would say the difference is that even though the person on the other end might be a different gender, you don't really know that for sure.
Yeah.
Where in this case, it's actually, he knows it's his best friend. It's this dude that he's sleeping with, but he's taking the form of a woman. So it's a little bit more complicated. I mean, I'm sure there's examples like that.
It's a blurring, isn't it? Because he, in the video game, is still experiencing sex as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Carl is experiencing it as a woman, which is blurring his own gender identity.
I guess it's also unclear if he's attracted to, like, the Chun-Li character, or if he's attracted to Carl, his buddy, in the form of a woman. So I guess that's where the part where it gets confusing a little bit. I don't know.
Like, it's dealing with a lot of different issues regarding sexual identity and gender identity without really scraping the surface, really. Because then there's the whole subplot about, is it Theo? His wife?
I don't know.
Who is also trying to explore her sexuality, and her kink is people hitting on her.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is, regardless of what we want to say about their sexuality, and that's why I said it was a bit melancholy, is just the fact that he's cheating in general.
Yeah.
I mean, he is cheating. It strikes a little bit of a dour mood in that way. That's why I don't think it's a happy episode, because at the end, they're all cheating on each other. They'd agree to have, like, an open relationship, but it's still weird.
Yeah, because none of them are actually happy with the turnout of the relationship. It's trying to address a lot of things, and it doesn't go far enough with addressing them. There's only so far that you can go with implication when you're discussing such relevant topics,
Yeah, especially with the main character, it seems to be just a lot that is left unsaid.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not sure it even matters, but I'm not sure if it's trying to state that this is a new type of sexuality, or if this is just something that he's just bisexual and
this is his way of expressing it.
Exactly. So I don't know. It's interesting.
I feel like it's just lacking in what it wants to get across. Like, it's a nice bit of TV to watch. Like, the way that the scenes within the game were shot was an absolute homage to fighting games. Because, like, I saw it and I was like, oh god, yes. But, and I heard that the Black Mirror folks actually developed a game. They actually developed the Striking Vipers game. Like, obviously it's not going to be a fully bug-tested type thing, but they actually developed a game for them to play instead of just having them twiddle their thumbs, especially for the first scene.
Yeah, I mean, that's something I think they also did with the Miley video, right? They basically released the song.
It's one thing releasing a song and a music video. I mean, How I Met Your Mother did that. It's another thing to put together a game.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
By the way, going back to the whole gender swapping thing, how does that work in terms of tactile feedback, for lack of a better way to put it?
That was something that they kind of avoided, really, isn't it? Because he was asking, oh, what's it like to have sex as a woman? And he was like, it's just this different. It's different.
It just works.
It's like, yeah, of course it fucking is. Of course it's fucking different. Duh.
Yeah, exactly. But how would you even be able to simulate that? I mean, neurologically speaking. I mean, I guess there isn't a way. It's just fiction.
The way that I think it would work. This isn't something that I've thought of. This is something that I've just thought of right now.
Yeah.
So, basically, the male penis has around 4,000 nerve endings in it. The female clitoris has around 8,000 concentrated on a smaller spot. So what I reckon the game would be doing would be simulating the sensation of the nerve endings in the clitoris as felt by the penis, and then doubling them to kind of get that sensation across.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how you'd simulate the vagina penis feel, because honestly, I don't know. They just shove some in between. I don't know.
Shove it up your butt.
Yeah, shove it up your butt. I don't know. You're that impressed with yourself.
Yes. I thought it was a good, scientifically correct comment I made there, but yeah. Shove it up your butt. Same thing.
Well, maybe replete the sensation of shoving it up your butt, but shoving it up forward in your scrotal region. Because you know what they call the vagina?
What do they call it?
The front butt. So if they took the sensation that you might feel from anal stimulation, moved it a bit forward, it's just like, woo.
There you go.
I don't know.
That's what having a vagina feels like.
I think we've thought this through a little bit more than...
Yes. I don't know if this part of the... this explanation was like gone through in the meetings when they were discussing this episode. I don't know if they
but
thought
how
this
do we
far.
actually simulate the feeling of a woman having sex? Maybe they just took Polyjuice Potion. Who knows?
Let's call in the world's greatest doctors. Let's fly them in from Johns Hopkins. Let's ask them, if this episode is scientifically correct, and if it is not, then we're just gonna toss it out. It's not gonna work. We want to be faithful to science here. We don't want to bullshit our viewers in making this fantastical proposition. We just do not want to take that dramatic liberty. It's just too big of a step. So I'm sure they went over it. And if they didn't, then they have our phone number, so they could call us and we could explain it to them.
In as poetic a manner as we've just explained it to ourselves.
It's fine. It's we don't have to be correct here. We just have to be confident.
Have the
in our
ideas,
opinions. Yes, yeah.
Like, I'm confident that they would recreate the sensation of penis stimulation.
Exactly. You mentioned nerve
and
endings.
amplify it.
Just throw in a couple more scientific terms, and then we're good.
Hey. I got this from a reliable source. From Body Worlds in Amsterdam.
Yes,
where you can look at dead bodies. It's great.
Is that something you do in your spare time? Look at dead bodies?
It is when I'm in Amsterdam and I'm high.
It's very dark. It's very...
No, it's a really good exhibit. It's like an art piece, but also a science piece. So basically all these people have donated their bodies. And it's great.
Yeah, because there's people like that. There's someone I knew who used to go on these websites where they have these recordings of the last minutes before a plane crashes.
Right.
And she would listen to them, play them back, and say, listen to these, listen to how crazy these are. Like, some of them, they just be talking...
Like, that's actual people. Yeah. They didn't consent to be recorded like that.
Yeah. Some of them are just, like, talking about their families, or just talking about, like, just normal day stuff, and then, like, 10 seconds later, they're screaming and stuff. It's just really dark.
Oh, that is really dark. Ugh.
Like, why are you listening to this stuff? And you're like, I don't know, it's interesting. But, yeah, there's people like that. It's a thing. Other people like to look at dead bodies. It's all normal. It's all fair.
I mean, I'm not going to judge.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we don't kink shame here. What else were we going to talk about?
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of shit for around 40 minutes already.
Tell me about this controversy online, because we talked about Good Omens last week.
So, Good Omens, fantastic TV show, right? Fantastic. It's amazing. It's such a good TV show.
Did you watch it to the end?
I love it. I did watch it to the end, and I really enjoyed it. And I know that I was complaining about the CGI, and I can see where the budget went. It's like how they cut out the direwolves for the dragons.
I liked it. I thought it dragged on a bit. I thought it could have been maybe 5 episodes, but yeah, I still liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I like seeing David Tennant back on my screen, honestly. And him and Michael Sheen were glorious to behold. It was just adorable.
But you're saying there's a controversy?
Yes, so after Good Omens was released, the American Society for the Defense of Tradition, Family and Property, they complained that the TV show made a mockery of God's order and religion and promotes evil. And they wrote a petition, and it had been signed by around 20,000 people, I believe. And so some of the things they took issue with was the idea that angels and demons can be friends, because who wants to cooperate? And the fact that God was voiced by a woman, things like that. And they addressed the petition, because this is the really good thing. The petition is addressed to Netflix. And for those of you who are unaware, Good Omens is made by Amazon Prime. And so it got better. So Netflix responded to the petition. So Netflix said that it would not make any more of the TV show, and which is great. And Amazon responded to Netflix by saying, We will cancel Stranger Things if you cancel Good Omens.
That's good social mediaing right there.
Yeah.
Mediating.
And how can you be so stupid?
It really shows a lack of self-awareness because they're almost parroting how the forces of heaven acted in the show almost, and just like zero humor, just completely just staid and boring and lacking self-awareness. I mean, you don't see the Church of Satan complaining about it because the Church of Satan people are fun and
relaxed.
Yeah, they're chill. They're not really taking things seriously. So if you poke fun at them being evil, they're cool with it.
If anything, Crowley's actions are more in line with the Church of Satan anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because the Church of Satan in this is a deceptive name.
Mm-hmm.
Because Satanists, as in people who follow the Church of Satan, aren't evil.
No.
They are people who treat everyone who deserves to be treated with respect. That is their idea. You harm no one, and you suffer no harm, and you're basically moral. It's basically a fancy way of saying you're an atheist. But with an atheist with morals.
It's just a more fun way of doing it because atheist people are generally not gonna, like, people who are religious aren't gonna generally react like negatively. I mean, they might, but they're not gonna react in horror. But if you said you're from the Church of Satan, they might freak out because the connotations that come with it. So it's kind of just a way of poking fun, I think, at religious people.
Yeah.
Align yourself as a
Satanist. They don't actually believe in Satan and stuff. It's just
they're not sacrificing goats or anything like that. It's just
it was just so stupid.
But it's definitely an interesting week on Twitter. I think I saw a huge controversy because they were doing like a Final Fantasy VII remake, and apparently like a bunch of gamers got mad because they reduced the size of Tifa's breasts.
What?
And like people were like mad because like they're supposed to jiggle, they're supposed to flop up and down, but I guess they put her in a sports bra. And
I want to see this Tifa Final Fantasy VII remake.
They're like, those aren't the D cups that we had in the original game, and it turns out that the whole controversy was just like a mistranslation of, because I guess the developers put a sports bra on her to make it more realistic. And yeah, I mean, that makes sense. You want to, like, because a lot of the characters from that era, a lot of the NPCs from that era are just like, they're a little fake looking.
The reason that they exaggerated these features is to make them more distinctive. Like, that is the main reason why the original Lara Croft had such massive breasts. Because they thought, it makes her distinctive. Also, they accidentally put the wrong measurement in.
Plus, they want to appeal to, like, a certain type of gamer, right? And so I guess putting a sports bra on her to kind of make it a little bit more realistic is just piss those gamers off to no end. So.
But the thing is, honestly, as somebody who is busty and who has to deal with the fact that I'm busty and has to run around and spend at least £100 on sports bras just so I can go running.
Yeah, and get into the occasional fight as part of a terrorist group fighting against, I don't know what the plot is. You're fighting against the government? I don't know. You're part of an environmental terrorist group, yes.
But yeah, getting into fights and stuff like that, physical activity, you're going to need a sports bra. And unfortunately, I hate to break it to you, but sports bras are not, at least a supportive one. A sports bra is not like what you see being modelled on things like Victoria's Secret and Boohoo and Misguided. No, you know what sports bras do? They flatten you down. They hold you in tight. So you know what? Good on Tifa. It looks like she's not going to be hitting herself in the face anymore.
Yeah. Because that would be not ideal when you're trying to save the world. You know?
No.
It's just...
And you know what? Even if it's not just running, it gets in your way when you're lifting weights and shit like that. Like, I can't pull my fists all the way back when I'm not wearing a sports bra because...
Yeah,
they get in the way. I can't do chest press without a sports bra on. I can't do chest press with a sports bra on because I still can't get it down all the way. This is not something that I expected to be talking about today, Chris.
That and men with vaginas is just, this is the talk that we get to. But yeah, I mean, they didn't even reduce the size. Like, I can see why they would reduce the size as well. I mean, I don't see that as a problem. I think that's just a more realistic way to look at it. Maybe she got a breast reduction. I mean, she's trying to save the world and be part of this environmentalist group that is occasionally get into street fights. So you're gonna have to make compromises. And so I think a sports bra is one choice she could have made. She could have also gotten a breast reduction. It's the fate of the world is at stake here, Alice. You can't let your boobs get in the way of that.
You know what I'd also recommend, though, for her costume design? I'd recommend her, if she's getting into street fights, tying her hair back. Maybe a French braid. I think a French braid would work very well. Because she has got bangs and she has got a fringe, which will get in the way. And she also needs to get rid of the dangly earring and switch it out for a stud.
Yes.
That'll get caught.
You know what she should also do instead of trying to punch people, punch robots and all these other things, is maybe she should get a gun.
Yeah.
Let's just give Tifa a gun.
I am down with this. Let's get a petition going to Konami.
Yeah.
It'll do a load of good.
Yes.
Petitions always work.
Yes, especially to the wrong company. But let's. If she has a gun, maybe she won't have to get a breast reduction. She won't have to wear a sports bra.
No, she will still need to recoil.
Yeah, that recoil is pretty massive. It's gonna flop and hit her face again.
Yeah.
The boobs in her eyes. You can't shoot straight when you got boobs in your eyes, but yeah. Maybe she can just reduce it to a C instead of a B or something if she has a gun. So there you go. Problem solved.
If fellas on the internet are thinking that those are B cups, they've had their perception of women surely distorted.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because even her current design, I would say, eyeballing the current design, I would say that she is probably a healthy D cup.
Yeah, if not bigger. I mean, there's a lot of things about the game you can consider sacred, but I don't think the boobs are one of them, so it's a non-issue. Boobs aren't one of them.
Yeah.
But I guess it's controversial because now what are we going to jerk off to?
There's all the fan art. Just jerk off to that.
But yeah, outrage is definitely abundant on the internet. Speaking of which, there is a new Harry Potter game to be mad about.
Yes, there is.
In the mold of Pokemon Go, you go outside and do wizarding things. It's called Wizards Unite.
Yes, so it is developed by the same people who developed Pokemon Go, so you would expect for there to be some similarities.
Yeah. Instead of Pokemon going to the polls, are we gonna Wizard Unite at the polls? Is that the only difference?
I don't think that has quite the same legendary status to it as Pokemon Go to the poll. But there could be a political slogan in there.
Hopefully this one will work.
We try to avoid being super political on this on this show.
The last one didn't work out so well because we ended up not Pokemon going to the polls enough. I mean, we did in terms of the popular vote, just not the Electoral College. But we can Wizards Unite at the college. How about that? Wizards Unite at the Electoral College.
Getting there.
At Hogwarts Electoral College. Just give it a Hogwarts name.
I mean, it's better than Pokemon Go to the polls, isn't it? So,
It's a very low bar. Have you played the game yet? Are you excited to play this game?
I am
as a Harry Potter
downloading
fan?
it
tonight. Speak.
Because I have to go on a very long walk tomorrow. So, to entertain me on that very long walk, I'm going to sign up. I'm going to go around. I'm going to shoot some spells. I'm going to go around and I don't know what else you do in the game. Shoot some more spells.
You have to pick a school, right? First off, or what do they call it? What do they call those things? Is it house?
Career path?
Yeah, like
I don't know.
House Gryffindor is it called house?
Yeah, it's a house.
Okay, so you have to pick a Hogwarts house.
I'm Ravenclaw.
So Ravenclaw, and does that give you any special stats, or does it change anything if you're like Gryffindor, Slytherin, or
I think
Ravenclaw?
It's just a fact of pride. It's kind of like how the gym teams work in Pokemon Go, and that you pick them, and that's where your points are going towards. So my points would be going towards Ravenclaw because I'm a Ravenclaw till I die. Because I'm clever.
You have a tattoo
Oh, I can't afford a tattoo, mate.
You just get one of those henna tattoos or whatever, those temporary ones or something.
Yeah.
Then you can be Ravenclaw for 2 weeks instead of Ravenclaw till you die.
I did have Ravenclaw nails once. They were really cool.
Then you can be Ravenclaw until your nail polish wears off.
Yeah.
Not quite as dramatic as Ravenclaw till I die, but, what are you going to do? Costs money.
But yeah, so I'm excited to get down to that. Although, it doesn't look to be a very big success, honestly. So...
Well, is it that more reason to play? Because you won't have a bunch of other people in the same area trying to stop the Dementors?
No, but, so I'm looking at some stats that have come out from, like... Is it the opening weekend? Yeah, we'll call it opening weekend. Fuck it. So, when Pokemon Go was first released, it was downloaded over 7.5 million times within 24 hours. And according to some stats, Wizards Unite has only been downloaded 400,000 times.
Wow, that's a steep decline.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody was really, really excited about Pokemon Go because it was like the first game of its kind. It's got a big brand behind it. Looks like it's going to be really cool. And as much as I love Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling is making questionable decisions with said universe. I mean, you only have to look at Wizards shitting everywhere to realise that she's making some questionable decisions with her universe, and it should just be left well alone right now. But she's refusing. Yeah. And she's writing plays. And she's writing a universe in which Dumbledore is gay, but kind of not really. And I think I've gotten franchise fatigue. Whereas Pokemon, it's something that we can look back with nostalgia. And it doesn't have the same franchise fatigue as you have with Harry Potter, I think. So, like, Pokemon Go. You've been into Pokemon since you were kids. It's never really had any big, high-octane releases. I think the biggest release that it's had, other than video games, into other media, with video games being a niche media, I say niche, with video games being a more looked down upon, less digestible media than movies, for example. Mm-hmm. The biggest outbreak it's had has been Detective Pikachu. So, people had grown up watching the Saturday morning cartoon, and they're like, oh, shit, I used to like Pokemon. Downloaded it. Oh, it's fun. Whereas Harry Potter, it's like, oh, fuck. Another Harry Potter thing. Fucking hell. Because it's got Grindelwald in it. I bet it's got fucking Grindelwald in it, hasn't it? Bet it has.
Yeah, marketing-wise, I don't know if they've really done as much with this game as they have with Pokemon Go. Because Pokemon Go is like a phenomenon. Like, you would see it trending on Twitter and see it everywhere, and like politicians were talking about it. But I don't know if this game has really gotten the hype, even though functionally, from what I've read, it might be a better game in terms of, like, there's RPG elements, like you can build up your character, and there's elements that sound more interesting than just collecting Pokemon. You can fight off confounders or whatever it's called, I'm not sure, but there's like different elements to the gameplay that make it apparently a step up, but but yeah, it just hasn't caught on popularity wise. I mean, I know I'm not gonna play it because it requires leaving the house, but other than that, that's usually not a detriment for most people. So I don't know, play it, tell me what it's like.
I will do.
Give it a whirl.
I will do. And then maybe you can play it on your new phone.
Yes. Maybe there's like a group of Dementors that somehow gotten into my living room, and then I'll need to take care of it.
It's called depression, Chris. You don't need to hide it.
But yes, we'll talk about that after we played it some more. But it does seem like something that might be interesting to play. I'll have to pick a house.
Yeah.
What's the rival to Ravenclaw?
There isn't a rival to Ravenclaw. So, Gryffindor are strong and brave. Slytherin are smart, sly and cunning and ambitious. Ravenclaw are clever. And Hufflepuff are stoners.
Yeah, maybe I'll go with Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff sounds like a just very neutral house.
It's
like Slytherin has like the whole like Snape and what's
evil.
The other guy's name? Yeah, evil. evil connotation. Then Gryffindor is just like the hero house, and so Harry Potter house. So Hufflepuff.
Because you don't have to be a pretentious arsehole to be in Hufflepuff like I am.
Exactly. Plus, it's fun to say Hufflepuff. So there you go.
And at least your merch will be in the right colours.
What colours are House Hufflepuff?
Black and yellow.
Oh, there you go. Just like a bee.
Whereas in the film universe, Ravenclaw's colours are blue and silver. But in the books, which is the only true canon, the colours are blue and bronze. So you know that my opinion of the game is going to be severely altered by by which colour the Ravenclaw colours are.
It's unplayable, more or less.
Unplayable.
Hufflepuff's mascot is a badger. Aren't badgers dicks?
Yeah, but they're cute and fluffy.
Oh, that's true. I am kind of a dick, so there we go. It's all right.
No.
Works out. Anything else? Do we want to talk about Vampire Masquerade trailer, the gameplay trailer?
I think leave it. We've recorded for over an hour now.
All right. Yeah, we'll talk about that and more and try to figure out what we're going to do for episode 100 in a few weeks. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Goodbye.
Right, goodbye.